Richards, and yes, welcome viewers and pool fans to Pro Billiard TV and this semi-final matchup in the Belarus Carrinho Women's Open. Both players coming into this unbeaten. The home hopeful Jasmin Ouschan is taking on Wei Wei. I'm Gethin Davis, and joining me to call the shots for this exciting encounter, it's my dear friend and colleague, Tim de Ruyter. Welcome back, Tim. This should be a corker.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Definitely looking forward to this match. As always, I'm looking forward to every match, but this should be a great one. I've seen Jasmin this week on the TV table quite a lot. I've seen her play quite some matches. She made an incredible comeback against Pia Filler yesterday. So, yeah, I would say she's on top of her game. Wei Wei yesterday against Xia Lu, she did win. Wasn't exactly the prettiest game there was, so we'll have to play better to beat Ouschan.
Yeah, I agree. And she's definitely more than capable, as we both know, Tim. And you just think that with Jasmin on home soil, it may just give her that little bit more impetus. And she will get us off to open up our first set in this semi-final matchup. Ooh. Nearly lost the cue ball, Tim.
Yeah, living on the edge because of that much cut on the break. Also no success with pocketing the balls. I feel like the impact was a little less, but it's not like she's given Wei a much easier shot on this one ball. Probably will have to just push the one above the four.
Yeah, not many options. These both players have had a good time to warm up on this table under the lights. But first shot needing a delicate touch if she's going to play that, Tim. She has.
Oh, she tried it the other way around, and I feel the difficulty with this shot was you had to play it quite full to bring the cue ball above the four, and the one was a little bit tighter to the long rail. It has ended quite conservative, but there is more options now for Jasmin. She could stun the cue ball above the 7, the one ball under the 10, or maybe even go very aggressive, play the 1 into the 10, draw the cue ball above the 4.
I will say, Tim, both players are going to need to keep very good control of the cue ball, even at this early stage, because the way the balls are looking, the first real offensive opportunity could take this rack. Clever shot. Quite out in the open, but yet close to that cluster, Tim. Just puts a little bit more difficulty on this shot.
Ooh. Any luck? I don't think so. This might be alright. We'll have some traveling with the cue ball, Geth. to get on the 2 to the middle is the only option.
Yeah, I agree. It was good contact on the 1, but the 4 started moving, the 8 started moving. How's the cue ball? Oh, she's run into the 9.
Well, so far, so good. At least she has a shot on the 2. And I don't think she got awkward by the 7. I think it's just sideways from the 7 to where she doesn't have to cue over the ball. So a little tap onto the 9 is possible. Has to be careful not to push the 9 and the 6 together, which that worked out just okay.
Yep. The 9 has proved very useful for Jasmin in the last couple of shots. Nearly ended up being a nuisance. But no, that's still okay for Jasmin and looking very good now. Opening this rack up very nicely. Did I speak too soon? I think she's contacted that 7 hard enough.
Well, she actually landed perfect on the 4 to go 2 rails back down for the 5, but playing with fire.
Yes, the unorthodox route, but it will work out well. I'm looking for good shape on this 5 now to bring the cue ball back up table for the 6 into the bottom left pocket. It's a little short of pace, but we'll get the bounce off the rail. Jasmin is that type of player, Tim, that getting off to a good start and in a winner breaks format could really pose a problem for Wei Wei early on. Little visitor on the table, looking to get a better view. Didn't put Jasmin off at all, and she's perhaps straight on this 7.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to be maybe a little straighter on the 8 afterwards. Nothing wrong with taking the cut, stopping the cue ball on this, but the 8 is quite frozen to the rail. I don't like the outside spin as much on this, rather play the inside, but it's going to put you slightly more distance on the 9 compared to the outside, low right. She's still playing low right even though the 8 is frozen.
Yeah, killing the cue ball for this 10. And I did say, Tim, that the first real offensive opportunity could and should close this opening rack out. And, well, it wasn't from the break, but it was from Jasmin's break. And she gets her account underway and the first rack of this opening set. These are races to 4 winner breaks. And there are no early 10s. And as you can see and hear, both players under the shot clock. On our other table, table 2, that's the matchup between Muyan Zhang from China and the South Korean So Soa, being brought to you with our dear colleagues Mark White and Eric Horlifson. Both tables being brought to you live on Pro Billiard TV. And an absolutely fantastic representation from the Asian players in the last 16 of this event. 13 of them had travelled over from Asia. And that's very good representation, and they've come here on a mission, and so far they're really delivering well here in the Austrian Alps.
Yeah, another great match on table 2. Difficult to pick a winner on both tables. Overall in this field, I think it was difficult to pick a winner. So many great players.
Yeah, I agree. That little visitor still bothering Jasmin as well. Now, this will be her second break. And no rewards from her first. And again, no reward. The difference being this time, though, Wei Wei comes to the table with a much better look and has an open one ball to get her account underway.
Yeah, long opener on the 1.
Oh, Tim, she was just looking to kill that cue ball as the 2 was available to the bottom left. Was maybe just thinking about if she could hold an angle to develop the 5 that's locked up against the 9. But just taking her focus off that pot. But it wasn't an easy opener.
Yeah, could be the early difference in this match. Although, look at this 5 ball. Would have been nice maybe to have a small angle on the 2. To give the 9 a nudge. Or is she going to play off the 4 to the short side of the 5 ball? That's the other option to run out. She doesn't have to break this 9-5 from the 2.
She's asking the referee to come and bring some pest control. We have a visitor. No, you'll have to go and take a seat like everyone else, I'm afraid. So the shot clock will be paused.
Yeah, as you can see, he's just taking the streaker outside of the arena. He's not... nobody was harmed during this process.
We'll blur it out in the edit. Now, back to the seriousness. You mentioned she didn't need to take the 5 out at that opportunity. She may feel she can get around it. Oh, maybe the interruption did just play a little role in that. I was about to say, Tim, there is an opportunity from the overhead for the 5 to the bottom right. But that's disappointing. Especially where you look where that 3's landed, Tim.
You know, sometimes in a match, you miss a shot like the 3 ball Jasmin missed. And then the first thought that creeps in is, well, at least I'm leaving a difficult position, because to play this 3 ball and get the proper angle on the 4 to even be able to do something on the 5-9 is not guaranteed. And I'm surprised she didn't go 1 reel over to where she is now. And the 7 now blocking the 4 gaff.
Yeah, I was just looking at her shot selection there. It looked like she wanted to bring the cue ball underneath the 4, maybe even leave an angle to roll over into the 9. That's not going to work. If it passes the 7, she may be able to play for the 5 into the same pocket. Yeah, it didn't look on, and so she's played that safe, and she's played it very well, getting the cue ball to where she needed to if she wanted to play the 5. But more importantly, Jasmin to the table in a little spot of bother. Little look of confusion from Jasmin there. Looked like that cue ball just didn't get the reaction she was hoping for, and that's led to ball in hand for Wei Wei. And both of these players very, very dangerous with ball in hand. Will that 5-9 cluster hamper Wei Wei? She's played that all wrong.
Yeah, she never even got close to the window between the 7-10 she was trying to get. This is a big trap, and she will have to open up the 5-9 contacting this.
Looked like the cue ball had locked against the 10, but enough room for the one rail escape, which she has made. But this was the danger, as you said, Tim. Jasmin may have expected to remain in her seat for this rack. Will be very surprised to get out of her chair at this point. But she'll be delighted to be back at the table.
Yeah, nice angle on the 7 to go up table. Straight on the 8 preferred to give yourself a nice angle on the 9 to travel down table. Should be able to double the score, Gav. And good start for Jasmin. Okay, like I said, she missed the 3 ball, but she probably wasn't too worried because she knew what she had left.
Yeah, 2-0 in these short races to 4 and winner breaks format, Tim. Very, very useful. Dare I say, Wei Wei just looking slightly out of sorts in comparison to the 6 days it took to get to day 7. Just wondering if there's some fatigue, or maybe just needing a better open view at the table to get her teeth into. This 10 to take that useful 2-0 lead. Jasmin will be delighted with the way the scoreline is moving right now, and she will return to the table with the break. Our semi-final over on the other table right now between Zhang Muyan and So Soa. They're 1 apiece in their opening set. And, well, Wei Wei cannot afford to be putting herself in trouble like that. It's doing half the job for Jasmin, really. As we just have a look at the statistics. Yes, and that other semi-final, So also reaching this stage unbeaten, as with both Jasmin and Wei Wei here on this table. Zhang Muyan, well, she had her one loss against Pia Filler and came the long way. I'm just gleaning some information from the stats. It's been all Jasmin, the score line backing that up. And Tim, well, something needs to happen with Wei Wei, but Jasmin may not give her the opportunity to.
Yeah, this is the point where Jasmin could start to close the door for the opening set. Depending on the break. The break has been question mark. This one a lot better. Now will she take on a combination 2-9? I don't think so.
No. It would be very offensive. Maybe the scoreline would want to promote that, but I'm not too sure guaranteed any position on the two following. And I do like that cluster of balls, the 10, 6, 7. There's a lot of cover there to be had. This will give us an indication to what Jasmin's feeling. Yeah. And showing good respect to Wei Wei. She does not want to give her an inch to get back into this opening set. As you said, Tim, Jasmin would really like to close this out in short fashion. Keeping Wei Wei in trouble. Definitely a good ploy.
Yeah, we'll have to go 2 rails. Just a little bit past the right middle pocket. If you catch the 2 ball, like a half ball, sending it towards the 7-6, I think good things can happen. Yeah, not like this. Now,
No.
she has a little bit of insurance. If you look at the 6 not going to the bottom left, the option that Jasmin could take is to push the 10 out of the way and take a longer 3 ball. But the 3 to the 4 is a big shot.
Yeah, you could see what Wei Wei was looking to do there. Stay high on the 2 and float the cue ball up towards the 7 while kicking it out. She just caught it a bit thick. Jasmin now just having an inspection of how she wants that cue ball to react off the 3. Bringing the cue ball around the angles. Nice pace. No. Maybe nice pace. Just run on a little. Was this the angle to bump a ball? Jasmin did have a little look.
Ooh, jacking up on a shot like this. Tricky stuff. I mean, you could take a big risk, you know, just full pace, run into the right side of the 10. You should always have something on the 5. No, she took the medicine. I mean, I'm expecting her to play safety here. Overcutting the 5, bring the cue ball back to the bottom left corner of the table.
Yeah, I like that shot, Tim. Keep Wei Wei in trouble. I think purely because of that 6 ball. Attacking this 5 really will not pay dividends. How's the cue ball? Oh, that rub on the 8 will help as well. Yep, played it as you called it, Tim. This, well, you expect Wei Wei to get out of this, but getting cover is really not guaranteed. All the other balls down the other half of the table. Contact not made. And what's Jasmin going to do with this 6, Tim? Have you got any ideas? She doesn't.
Not yet. No, I have to say, Wei Wei still out of sorts. Doesn't look too great in the opening stage of this match. Can Jasmin go get the short side shape? Or will she run into the 6? No, she's just gonna play for another save. Pulling them strings tight on Wei Wei. If she can leave the 6 under the 9 still and stuck to the 10.
Well, has left the short rail, would have loved to have had that cue ball locked. And you were mentioning Wei Wei looking out of sorts. It's strange because I've been paying close attention to the Pro Billiards series social media page, and Luke Richards has been having some great interviews with the players, and one of the standouts was with Wei Wei, and she was just saying how much she really enjoys being here in the Austrian Alps. She loves this event. She looks so settled. But today, just not looking like the Wei Wei we have come to know and adore. And that, ball in hand again, which is the best of what Jasmin could have hoped for from the safety she put Wei Wei in, could result now, should even Tim get her on the hill in real dominating fashion. And the home fans will be loving this. They will be very keen to see an Austrian in a final here at the Alpina Alpendorf. And so far, Jasmin playing her part, Tim. This 9 to get position on the 10, and well, we know that Jasmin is very, very strong and on paper likely the favourite, but I did not expect this scoreline walking into this match today. (3-0). Jasmin off to the races. What's happening over on our other semi-final right now between Zhang Muyan and So Soa? Well, I believe So Soa took a 2-0 lead. It's now back to 2-1. Zhang making a little comeback in their opening set. So we just see a roundup of Jasmin's shots. The safety play is paying off as well, but I can't help but think, Tim, that Wei Wei is sort of half helping her as well.
Yeah, it always ignites the spark inside of you when your opponent is, well, Wei Wei has given Jasmin like 2 or 3 ball in hands now. It's always gonna help out. Now here we have the schedule at 2:30. We have the semifinals of the Billiard Beckman Men's Open. Felix Vogel and Georgi Georgiev, Oliver Zonnocki and Wukun Lin. And later this evening we do have the semifinals of the mixed doubles. So it's crunch time. The last 2 days of the event. Tomorrow will be finals day.
Crunch, Tim, is exactly the word. And there is lots of dollars in the prize purse up for grabs, and big differences between finishing third, fourth, or getting to the finals. $90,000 in this prize purse. First place picking up $27,000, which is a big shift from second place, which is $15,750. And that's what these girls are battling it out for. Wei Wei to the table with no good look at the one. Didn't see if she called the bank. Nope.
Yeah, I fear this contact might be a bit too easy for Jasmin. Can always go over the same long rail as the one ball left. Now, just wondering if Wei Wei could have played something with a bit more distance. Well, she might even be able to kick over the top short rail. Gives her a bit more options. Could fall the cue ball behind the 4-3 or the 6.
Looked like she made an insurance call to the bottom right pocket, Tim, but we both know that can be misleading when they're doing that just to cover themselves when playing safe. That will work. It is a thin cut to the bottom right pocket. Well, within Wei Wei's range, but is the offensive option the better? Looking where the 2 ball is, it could be. Look at that cue ball. That'll work.
Well, then again, she's looking at taking a jump. I don't mind going 2 rails at this. Making the jump is not going to get you on the 2.
She thumped that in, and sadly, as you suggested, didn't get shape on the 2, but what a jump shot. Look, nigh on impossible from where that cue ball was up against the 2. So another look at that, Tim.
Yeah, I don't even think she has a 1 rail escape. She will have to go over the left long rail. She called the right middle.
Nah.
I don't even think it was there. I mean, I'm very surprised she took on that jump. She could have kicked that at 2 rails. Long rail, bottom short rail. So, a chance for Tzu Chien. She desperately needs to get this on the board. Big problem still with the 8 and the 10. The 8 doesn't go to the bottom left. So it's not just a couple tap-ins.
Yeah, and the obvious shape to get on the 7. The 7 may not pass the 9 either. So Wei Wei certainly not out of the woods, and is just going to need to unpick this closing pattern carefully. And going on the last 3 sets, as you suggested, Tim, she's going at 3 game racks. She's going to need to get a point on the board, and this is probably the best opportunity she's going to get. She's having a good think. Clearly, the closing pattern hasn't revealed itself. She may be playing safe here. I didn't Didn't look like she was taking... Oh, no, she is taking the pot on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now, don't forget, as I mentioned, the 8 doesn't go by the 10. The 7 doesn't go to the top left. The percentages to run this out are not necessarily too high. Could she maybe go 2 rails, twice the long rail, and give the nudge on the 7 to push it over to the right side of the table? She gotta hit the 7 so full to be decent on the 6. I think it's your best chance.
Yeah. As you brought it up, Tim, I didn't even consider it. And the moment that you said it, I went, of course, that really is her best chance here. Otherwise, she's going to have to be so particular with the cue ball. Oh, that's what she went for, Tim. You could see her with the anticipation as it just slid past.
Yeah, she was trying indeed to push it to the left side. Yeah, what now? What to play? Not just to get something on the 7, she could play the bank. But imagine she has to play the bank and be on the 8 to the bottom right. Could play for the 7 in the bottom left. How is the pace? Oh, she won't be complaining about this. Rather play this with a little bit of inside spin to get straighter, to get lower on the table on the 8. As you can see, some inside spin. How's the pace though? It's a bit in between. All these shots have been a bit in between, Gath. And I mean, yes, she's still on the 8. Am I worried? No. But she might have to either play low right, trying to get to the center of the table, or give yourself a bit longer of a shot on the 9. Yeah, she might be just stepping this in. And she's pushed the 10 to the bottom short rail. I mean, this is missable now. We'll have to play this with a lot of speed to be even close to the 10.
I guess the silver lining, Tim, is not just getting the first point on the board, though, but in making these last 2, it will give her a real good boost of confidence. Because up until now, she probably is having a little word with herself. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not gonna get there. Now she's in big trouble. This is either to hang in the opening set or to lose the opening set 4-0.
Ooh, that's cheeky.
Yeah, interesting shot, but I do believe the bank on to the top left. The bank should be on. I'm not a big fan of the safeties on this.
Well, she didn't check to see if the 10 was off the cushion or by how much. Meaning, it didn't look like she was going to eye up that bank shot, and that's not worked out at all. She's caught that significantly thicker than she'd hoped for. This could be it. The chance Wei Wei needs. She just had a look at the side pocket there, Tim. She was a bit worried when that cue ball came off the second rail, but it will be her first point on the board. Will not, I would guess, be the way she wanted to do it, but she'll take it. And now, I believe this is our first opportunity to see her at the break.
Yeah, all the upcoming breaks will have some added pressure. Just mainly because every opportunity she'll give to Jasmin, it could still be over. She did manage to still win that previous rack by playing a double kiss safety on the 10. Interesting shot. You don't get to see that very often.
As we just take a look at our other table, table 2, it looks like that is Zhang Muyan to break. So are currently leading 3-2 in their opening set. So that one cooking along quite nicely. And I have to say, Wei Wei will be looking to get the scoreline back to 3-2 and to see if she can get moves happening. Made a ball off the break, nearly made the 1 as well, Tim, but that 2 is not sitting very pretty near the 10 ball there. Good early signs for a break though, making balls and getting shape on the next ball.
What do you think about playing a safety behind the 10?
I believe that's what she was looking at, if there's a gap between the 9 and the 10, rather the 9 and the 7, sorry, to be able to just launch into the 2, get it running round the table and hold behind the 10.
Yeah, I forgot to check earlier on the overhead if the 3 ball does go by the 6 from where we get the looks now. I don't think it does go, so you would never want to go aggressive on these. And now bringing the 2 closer to the 3 ball, which gives either a nice opening shot with ball in hand, or Jasmin, who makes contact with the 2 and nudges the 3 ball. Yeah, from the overhead, tells me the 3 does not go to the top right. Now I like going 2 rails. Bottom short rail, right long rail. It's like you're trying to kick the cue ball into the right middle. But then, when you have that line, you play it a little bit wider. Then you should be close. She might be going the Z shot.
It was the Z of Zorro, and this time unfortunately not making contact with the blue 2. And as you pointed out, Tim, that 3 does not look like from the overhead it's going to go. So this 2 ball, Wei Wei's going to need to develop it. She's looking to be very particular at the angle she contacts this. Doesn't want to be putting herself in trouble. Ooh. The more that cue ball rolls, the thinner that shot gets. taking on the cut, Tim.
Yeah, just play with enough outside spin. It throws the 3-ball to the corner, and you need it for shape on the 4. Ooh, she's missed that badly. How's the cue ball? Well, second prize. She got safe, but she's missed that quite a bit.
Yeah, although with a point on the board, Tim, she's still not looking as comfortable as she has been over the past 7 days. Now we know she can grind, and she's a very determined player. Jasmin, as you mentioned, once she sees that, she can really turn on the pressure and just exploit that somewhat. However, on this occasion now, making good contact, but leaving a slightly easier opportunity for Wei Wei. She digging in deep to draw over into the long rail because the 6 might be posing an issue. Ooh. Wei Wei giving that cue ball the stare.
Yeah, I can understand why. Every shot matters at this point. Now, next one coming up. Will she have to play with full draw off the 7? Is she going maybe with top left into the rail and backup table? Oh, no spin. She didn't use the inside spin, Gath. I would have loved to at least get to the right side of it.
Another misjudgment, and you're right, it just came flat up the table, and it was literally making a beeline for the 9. She's brought her jump stick. It's quite a reach to make that for a jump. But right now, Wei Wei her own worst enemy in this opening set. And this, well, this is more than a tempter for Jasmin, you feel. Shot clock was on about 3 seconds as well, Tim. Always a bit of additional pressure, whether we'd like to think it or not, sat where we are. Jasmin getting the same treatment from the shot clock. And has that affected her cue ball?
Well, the only thing I can say is I was expecting her to stun the 6-ball in, running the cue ball to the left side of the 7 over 2-3 rails. We will see Wei Wei back at the table. This is not done yet.
She'd love to have the cue ball behind that 8. Well, it's not going to happen going that way, is it? It's going to find the side pocket. Oh my. What a turnaround. And now, whether deserved or not, the look of shock on Jasmin's face, Wei Wei to the table with that cue ball in her hand. And she could take this to 3-2 and, well, as you can see from that shot, Tim, anything's possible.
Oh, that's a gift right on the platter, I would say, from Ouschan to Wei Wei, who crawls back into this opening set 3-2.
Well, I have to say, at 3-0, I couldn't imagine that there was going to be any spice to add to this opening set. However, planned, unplanned, unforced, forced. It's spicing up rather well. That scratch from Jasmin, her face. Great expression. But back to all seriousness. Wei Wei still in with a chance in this opening set. She will have the break as well. Over on our other table, in the other semi-final, Soa has taken that opening set against Zhang Muyan. So they will take a short break and get their second set underway. Jasmin would really like to be taking a break after this next rack with the first set under her belt. But she will be sat in her chair for the break, hoping to get out of it. You think there's a chance here for Wei Wei, Tim?
Well, in these races to 4-set format, you would always give a player any chance to come back or to win a set 4-0. But from how Wei Wei started the set, I never honestly thought she was going to make it 3 each. But now we might as well go all the way in the opener. Wei Wei to break.
Ooh, and a big swipe of the stick. I don't think that was to do with the break. I think it was just to do with an unwanted visitor. But it looked like she was waving a magic wand there. And with a big marked difference from her opening break where she found success, this time it's a dry break covering the one ball. But Jasmin may be able to spot something here.
Well, she could go very aggressive rail first. Cut the one in, the cue ball will run to the bottom side of the table. Bit of a two-way.
If the 9 is too high up, maybe there's even the same option but with a 2 rail. She's looking the other way. I would assume that's a push. I didn't hear a call though.
Well, I'm hoping for her that this is a push because no reason to play the cue ball to the other side of the table. I mean, she could also take a jump and take the long 2, but I'd rather go 1 rail first, slice the 1 ball in, run the cue ball 2-3 rails.
I think she was just looking to leave that 10 in the way of the 2. Just as an extra layer of insurance. Plays the push. Now, Wei Wei can take this on or give it back to Jasmin, judging by how open both her balls are. She's going to take this on rather than give it back to Jasmin. We'll be looking for good save. Well, Tim, it is safe, but Jasmin may bring her jump stick with her here. She's asked the referee to come over. Looks like she's going to play the 1 rail escape. And the reason for the ref is there is a very slight chance that an edge of the 7 could be picked up first. So very nicely done by Jasmin.
Oh, tricky to kick at it with that pace. This is now a chance to go hill.
You couldn't write this. You could not write this. Jasmin sat in a chair just maybe thinking, oh my, the pool gods were not happy with my first 3-set performance.
Well, still a lot of work 1 to the 2, as you can see, is a small window. But then to get from the 2 to the 3 ball, just as this difficult. And then the next question is what to do on the 4. So there is a lot of issues on this layout.
Yeah.
She's going though. She could maybe go play the 3 fall get.
Yeah, I was just listening to what you were saying, and the options are quite difficult for her there. Playing safe off the 2 would have been a good option, but it looks like the way she's dressed this up, she can, if she can take this 2 on, she can draw back for the 3 now. Or push through for it even.
No, time for safety. But the 2 ball needs a good cue ball. Does get a good cue ball.
Oof. Heart-stopping moments. That cue ball did look like it was going to leak, which would have been a big difference in what Jasmin would have been walking up to the table to find. Now, she's looking at that 1 rail escape again, Tim. Good contact. Playing it at that pace, looking just to leave it a bit awkward for Wei Wei. It is on to this bottom left corner and could be a bit of a 2-way shot as well for Wei Wei.
Yeah, just nothing offensively available. Don't think she actually went for it. I think she was trying to bring the cue ball above the 3 ball.
Agreed.
Well, the more both sides have to play safeties, the more it's going to get them out of stroke, which could make the ending of the opening set more dramatic.
Ooh. Needs to travel, Tim. Did that 6 keep its leg stuck out? I'm not too sure it has.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Still, Jasmin does have a backup with the 4 ball being not so available. I mean, it does go to the bottom left now.
Yeah, I'm wondering how big a difference that's going to make with the 4 being available there.
Mainly, can she handle the nerve?
Yeah. I can safely say I'm struggling from my chair. But this, well, what an opportunity to, surprisingly, I would have to say, get the scoreline back to 3-3 in this opening set, and a real roller coaster we've got. And a bounce. Ooh, a little bounce. Well, weather.
Awkward queuing. She is running the shot clock down all the way to the end, over and over. It's not going to make her feel a lot better, Gath.
No, I was about to say whether she's feeling out of sorts or not, though, and whether the shot clock will ever come to bite her. She's still tucking these balls away, Tim, and by hook or by crook, she's getting herself into this opening set, and I'm not too sure what that will do to Jasmin. But it will do the world of good to Wei Wei, and she will fancy her chances going into a deciding rack in this opening set.
Yeah, does she stay off the rail? Yeah, kind of straight on the 9. On the rail. Missable now suddenly to go 2 rails forward. She might drop this in and take a long 10. Or how well is she feeling? No, she makes something happen closer to the 10. This to go 3 each. What a comeback.
Indeed, Tim, what a comeback. Needs to be completed now with this 7th and deciding rack in this opening set, but I'm sure the majority of our viewers would have had Jasmin down to be closing this first set out, even to be tucking into the second set by now. It's not to be. And it will be Wei Wei coming back with the break over on our other table. Well, the first set has been completed there, so are taking the opener, and they're locked at 1 apiece in their second set. Just have a look at the statistics here. What a reversal in, well, not a reversal, but a reversal for Wei Wei. She really did not have anything to claw into with regards to statistics, but 3 racks later, and she's off and going.
Yeah, very interesting player overall performance. At the same time, both around just 700. It's not something you get to see very often, so maybe some pressure. We are in the semi-final of the Carrinho Women's Open. Why not?
And why not treat us to a dry break? Sadly for Wei Wei, but fortunately for Jasmin, Tim, where she's been left position on this 1, she might start fighting for a foul right from the get-go.
Yeah, this is the kind of position you're hoping for when your opponent has a dry break, either an open shot on the 1 or a safety. Good cue ball. Bit unfortunate that the 1 ball goes right through the gaps in the open.
This is no easy shot. She'll be desperate to make contact with the 1. 1, 2, maybe a third rail. It is 2. And that's going to work out okay, Tim. Good result.
Yeah, that right there is the difference between if you can place the 1 ball on the safety a bit better. Yeah, great result on this kick. Beautiful hit. Full ball, actually. Oh, there might be a window. Can possibly play the 1 into the 7. Follow the cue ball. Play for the 4 in between.
Yeah, if you can see enough of the 1, Tim, that's a very good option.
The other option is to play the 1 ball thinner under the 7 and the 4 to the left side. I'm not sure if you can. Oh, well, she was able to bring the cube all the way back down. She's definitely playing a lot better now, Wei Wei, than the opening of this set.
She left a window? Was the narrowest of gaps, Tim. She's found it and been able to get a safe from it as well. Not as good as cue ball as she has been getting up until now. And because of the distance between the two, Wei Wei looking to just jump over the 4, maybe even the edge of the 7. Calling it.
Well, using the dart stroke. Not a big fan of this kind of technique. But she is a big fan. Look at this. Including, well, it's a thinner contact on the 2, but she does have a cut on the 2.
Yeah, very effective and very good chance of ending up on the 3 if she can make this cut. Cue ball's going to be running a little bit.
And what a roll.
Oh, and a little exchange of smiles between the players, a moment of levity, but Wei Wei got away with that with such an unorthodox shot. It's all happening at 3-3, Tim. It's all happening.
Needs a comeback. Well, yeah, needs a comeback. Good contact needed. Oh, not too bad either. The 2 doesn't go to the bottom right.
Yeah, that little last nudge just bumped it over. It looks like enough to take away the potting angle. If it hasn't, well then Wei Wei could take this on and just draw into the 9 to bump it out the way and finish quite nicely on the 3. So good things can come if it is on. No, you were right, Tim. And now that is not safe, and you'd have to say a small opportunity for Jasmin. Hasn't had really many to get her teeth into for the last couple. Is she forced into taking this on, Tim, or is there a good percentage play on the safe?
Not really. There's no obvious safeties. Maybe the roll up. Was it on the 5? But things are. She had to stun that a bit more to bring the cue ball out. She's hooked herself on the 3. The 4 doesn't go to the top left, so I wasn't a big fan of the run out by any means.
Oh, did you see that cue ball run into the 9, Tim? Without that, Jasmin could have got a good result from that shot, but in complete contrast, it's now Wei Wei with a good look at the 3, and she's made a beeline for what she can do on this 4 ball. And this could be the opportunity that rewards her with one of the best comebacks I've seen over the past 7 days. Combo. Lining up that 4 onto the 7, and she'll be eagerly thinking about where that 4 is going to go, where the cue ball's going to go for the next shot. This is a big one.
What does she get on the 4? It's there. She does have... This is a decent position still. I mean, yes, a bit more of a cut. But if you look at the 5 being very much available in front of the middle, she doesn't have to play this very firm. Pocket speed will work. Of course, she would have liked to have the 4 a little bit slower, but this is still on. Yeah, there you go. She stays off the rail. Does she have any angle to get to the 6 in the middle? Yeah, must be dead straight. It's always annoying when you're trying to move the cue ball to the bottom side of the table and you're landing so straight that you cannot even cheat it. It does happen at times.
Yeah, drawing straight back. Bonus being that 8 passes the 10, Tim. Well, if you'd have grabbed my arm 30 minutes ago, Tim, I would have said we'd have been halfway through the second set by now. Wei Wei has got something to say about that, and these 3 balls to really put the exclamation mark on what has been a tremendous comeback from 3-0 down in this opening set, and really just to take the wind out of Jasmin Ouschan's sails.
Oh, the spin got her. She tried to load it up with a lot of inside, more deflection. And the more spin, if you put a little bit of a jabby stroke, the more it pushes out. So you have to be so consistent if you play with this inside spin. Whether you're practicing or under extreme pressure, you have to hit it the same. Otherwise the aiming is not correct. Oh, she did not try to be straighter on the 9. I thought maybe double pace, use a couple more rails. No. She said, give me another one of those.
Wow. What composure from Jasmin, though, after witnessing the scoreline that or rather the advantage she'd got just be dissolved in front of her eyes. This 9. Oh, fantastic composure. This is top class stuff.
Wow.
Tim, well, Jasmin Ouschan looked favourite to take this set 4-0. Wei Wei valiantly fighting back and having an opportunity to take this opening set. The drama unfolded, and Jasmin, not left with the easiest of 3 remaining balls, has taken them, and whether rightly or not, has taken that opening set. And our ladies will now take a break and compose themselves for, well, what could be, well, it could be an absolute fun-filled and drama-filled second set. Don't go anywhere. Myself, Gethin Davis, and Tim de Ruyter will be back with you. And a very warm welcome back, viewers, to Pro Billiard TV and the start of the second set in this thrilling semi-final matchup in the Billiards Carrinho Women's Open. A matchup between Jasmin Ouschan and Tzu Chien Wei, better known as Wei Wei. And what drama we have been greeted with so far. Jasmin Ouschan taking a 3-0 lead in the opening set. Wei Wei clawing back to make it a hill decider. And with a bit of drama, Jasmin just pipped over the finish line as we get the second set underway. My name's Gethin Davis. Pleasure to be joined back in the box. Tim de Ruyter. Well, Tim, what else can we be in treat for today?
Well, I am actually expecting this to go all the way. Why not make this a shootout match? We might miss the semifinals in the Billiard Beckman Men's Open because this opening set had it all. Took an hour and 17 minutes. Are we gonna get another one of those? Maybe just going Wei's way. Who knows? Let's see what happens. At least a ball in on the break. Shape on the 2 and the 3. Is there a run out available?
Yep, we've yet to have one in this match. A little bit of a cluster with the 7-10. 6 quite close to it, and the 4, which may help. You can see Wei Wei just thinking ahead and looking at good areas to get that cue ball. Yeah, played nicely. Well, she just eyes up the 3. Tim was keeping an eye on table 2 during the break, and it very much looked like Zhang Muyan was making a comeback in the second set and took it quite comfortably 4-1, taking that match against Sosoa to a third set decider. So the temperature on the other table firmly on high there. Will this match go to a third set? I'm sure Jasmin will be hoping to take it at this opportunity. However, will Wei Wei get to have a say in that? She's at the table with a good look at the 4.
Oh, she's on to the 5 in the middle. Leave yourself a little angle on the 6 to draw into the 10. Is a possibility. Don't think the 7 goes anywhere directly though.
No, I don't think so either, Tim. Using the 9 effectively to take the energy out of the cue ball. Not too sure with the angle she's got if she can dig in enough to maneuver, or rather adjust that cluster. Let's see what she's thinking. She still doesn't look completely convinced.
Yeah, I don't think she has an angle to even make contact with the 10 and the 7. Maybe if she can play the 6 on the thicker side of the corner. And then a smooth draw, she might be able to just catch the 10 on the bottom. Yeah, that's how she's missed it. The 7 doesn't go to that corner, does it? I didn't think so.
No. And well, I can't work out if Wei Wei's body language is that the 7 doesn't go, or if that she's disappointed with the cue ball resting up against the long rail.
She gives me the feeling that was on.
Well, she
In
went
that case,
full-blooded.
sorry, Gath. In that case, I was gonna say it was a bit sloppy from her to get on the rail on the 5 ball for the 5 in the middle. If she had been a little bit off the rail, that run out would have been way easier. Yeah, for Jasmin now, this is just picking up the pieces. Nothing special to do besides the composure.
Yeah, and a nice steal somewhat for Jasmin. She'll be delighted to get this second set underway first. After a couple of alarm bells and a couple of wobbles in that opening set, even though she took it 4-3, she just would like to put any of that to bed. And she has done, Tim, taking the opening rack in our second set. And she will get back to the table with the break. Now coming up next, should be at 2:30, we will have the semi-finals in the Billard Beckman Men's Open. On this table we'll have Felix Vogel taking on Georgi Georgiev, and over on table 2, Oliver Zolnocki taking on Kunlin Wu. And just in reflection onto that, Tim, for a brief moment, Georgi Georgiev, who's taken on Felix Vogel, has knocked out Joshua Filler, Mateusz Snigoczki and Robbie Capito. He's becoming a bit of a monster hunter of sorts. We're going to be in for some interesting play today, I feel, and if this match is to tee it all up, it's going to be a very interesting day ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the balls pocketed, this match indicating to be, well, as even as it gets. Just the scoreline difference in 2 racks. It's weird, the momentum, though, now suddenly with Jasmin again. Wei Wei maybe disappointed not to take on, or not to take the opening set. So mentally, back and forth from both. Oh, nice square hit. Look at that one ball. Oh, and actually, a pretty rough leave for Wei Tzu Chien.
Oh, that one did everything but drop. I feel this is probably her best position to attack this one. If she looks to push to a tougher one, it's not going to really help. Maybe push to a jump and offer the challenge to Jasmin, perhaps. Wei Wei not convinced him.
Yeah, there is no way she's going to play to leave a jump. You don't want to give your opponent a chance. I might kick at this. I mean, make the one. You know, just high pace, make the one. Or maybe she could play a 5-3-1 push out, drawing the cue ball back. I like that play. Just make sure you make the one. And then you'll find something on the 2 ball to play safe. Did she leave a real first? If she has given the real first on the 1, Jasmin can get on the 2. Now, if Wei Wei pushed to leave a long rail kick, the long route, then I don't understand why she did not take it on in the last inning. So well, maybe she's just trying to tempt Jasmin into this. Needs a bit of a curve. It's a pretty steep angle coming off the rail too, so I'm not a fan from this angle. She looks to be quite into it.
Ooh.
Hey, this could be way worse. I mean, she might even be able to go to the bottom right to go aggressive. But if she doesn't fancy it, she can stick the cue ball with the 8.
Yeah, I didn't see her going that way to attack the 1. And she rode the gauntlet somewhat, but this has worked out nice. And as you said, it looks like she could attack this. Oh, she has. How she landed on the cue ball, her big huff would suggest that's just not worked out. It was always difficult to get the cue ball out of there, Tim. But at the table,
well, somewhat of a decent result. Won't be able to make the 3 in the top left, I fear. Can she? Oh, she has called it. I was going to say she might be able to play a stop shot behind the 6, sending the 3 ball 2 rails away. She feels like this goes with a lot of left. A lot of left spin. Does the base, yeah, the pocket speed worked.
that's nicely done by Wei Wei. Now, what's the sort of angle she's got left here? A little wince of the head, because I'm sure she'd like to have been able to have dug into this cue ball. That's nicely judged. Okay, come up the table a little bit more than ideal for the side pocket, but jacking up on that shot. Good result.
Yeah, look of disgust. Straight in on the 5. The 6 goes to the bottom corner. Yeah, I had to put some spin on the cue ball, so cutting the ball with the spin sometimes causes to miss that kind of shot. Yeah, stop shot 5. 6 goes to the bottom left. 7 over the corner. The 8 and the 9 over the middle. Again, Ouschan going for the lead.
feeling, Tim, there will be no liberties taken by Jasmin with this lead. I'm not saying that she took liberties in the opening set, but she'll be reminded that this is a funny old game, and you cannot just expect at 3-0 up in these short races to run away with it. But this is what she needed to do, just to keep Wei Wei at bay. And she'd really like to take herself into tomorrow with a straight set victory. To 0, Tim, is the score, as Jasmin just waits for the balls to come to rest. And very useful early lead in this second set. She asked a lot of questions of Wei Wei in the opener. Is looking to do the same in the second. Over on our other table, Soa just taken the early lead, leading 1-0 in their deciding set. And Tim, one thing I've really been enjoying here in Austria is Pro Billiards Series social media page. They've been getting some great interviews with the players. And I have to say, Jasmin Ouschan consistently so honest with Luke Riches. I saw one with her and her brother Albin Ouschan, and it's very refreshing to see how honest they can be about how their tournament feelings are and how they're finding the occasion. This a great opportunity, as you can see. Jasmin, the only Austrian representative left here in the Alps, the Austrian Alps, so we'll be looking with a little bit of pressure from the home crowd on her shoulders to take this to the final. And with the break, leading 2-0, looking to take this second set to the hill in similar fashion to the opener. Dry break will bring Wei Wei back to the table, but not really much to attack here. I'm just wondering if she's forced into a combination, Tim.
Well, the 2-ball does make the corner a lot bigger in case you hit the 5-ball into the rail. Ooh, I don't think. Maybe she still has the 1-2 combination, but one ball nestled up on the 7. The other option is to stick the cue ball at the 3-ball and send the 1 down near the 10. Yeah, a little bit too pacey on the combination.
That's played well, Tim. A little bit of a gap between the 3 and the cue ball. That does make a little bit more room for Jasmin to consider her options. A little tricky one to get out of, though, here. Is she looking at playing off the top short rail first? This could be a 3 rail.
Yeah, it's either 1 rail directly at it or 3 rails. I have to say the 3 rail does come quite close to the corner. Oh, looks good. Needs the rail, needs the rail. Oh, great try,
Ooh.
but no rail after contact. So successful safety from Tzu Chien.
Yeah, as you said, Tim, she needed to flirt with the corner pocket, did so, I would dare say, hit that perfectly. Just didn't have the pace to make the rail. And in the scheme of things, that is a big flip in momentum, with Wei Wei getting ball in hand here. I was going to say, Tim, no immediate gotchas, probably 2 to 3 being the initial and maybe even the most concern for Wei Wei.
Well, this is a little bit of a concern already, this 2 to the 3 ball. Straight in on the 2. How is she going to move over for the 3 in the same corner? Well, that little flick off the 7 will do.
That is how she's going to do it, Tim. I did not see that coming. However, that has worked out rather nicely. And if she can keep the cue ball off the long rail, pushing through for the 4 here, she's in good position just to chip away at that early 2-rack lead that Jasmin's brought herself. Looking good. Just eyeing up exactly where she wants to land on this 7. And I thought it was quite brave of you, Tim, at the start of this second set, to call this match going all the way. But the more now I see Wei Wei settling in, coupled with the grit and determination from Jasmin, this match certainly does have every chance, and this would be a good step towards Wei Wei, ensuring that she's going to keep in this match with a good challenge.
Well, she did get a little bit straight on the 7 and not ideally straight. So is she going to punch into the rail and out? Yes, does it come out enough? This is close. You could see her look like going right outside of the arena, as in, like she was feeling that it was close. Oh, it's just enough. We all know that look from the pool players, you know, when something happens and they just look straight out of the arena. They look at nobody. That was close too to being that straight when she doesn't want to be straight, so bit of nerves now towards the end of this rack. 2 real shape, top left spin.
That'll work. That will work, and just snuff out the momentum that Jasmin was building for herself yet again, as she did it in the opening set. And Wei with that 10 brings the scoreline to 2-1. She will return to the table with the break and a chance to bring it back to all level. Talking about all level over on our other table, well, as I just fired over, it looked level. However, So has just put another notch on the board and is leading 2-1 in their third and deciding set matchup with Zhang Muyan. I was mentioning about the matches coming up later today. Well, we brought up the 2:30 slot with the Billard Beckman Men's Open at 6:30 this evening, local time. We will move into the Predator Mixed Doubles Open. Two good matches in store there. Team Wu Yu taking on the Japanese duo Kawahara and Naoki Oi. And on the other table, Team Wang Alkadi taking on Fu and Grabber. Some very interesting pairings and some, well, pairings that are gelling together in ways I didn't expect to see. However, back to this match, Tim. Jasmin Ouschan with a 2-1 lead and a one-set advantage in this race, or best of three sets. Wei with the break.
Well, suddenly balls flying everywhere. Makes two. Nothing aggressive on the two ball though.
Yeah. What can be done with that two? Not a lot. And because of such a good break, Tim, it doesn't look like there's many options for safe. Or rather, if there are, you need to be very precise, because whoever gets back to the table with a good look at offense, you'd have to have down as favourite for the rack. She's
yeah,
picked
good
that up
shot.
nicely.
But she might be unlucky just to leave a little thinner on this two.
Is Jasmin implying she can see the potting angle? Because she could play this as a two-way. It looked like she was going to overcut it.
Well, she even took her chances there. Any windows?
Oof. Good question, Tim. The overhead would just start to tease us with the possibility that there could be one. Well, Weiwei's played that in a way where there was no window, and she's got a great result here. And I think on this occasion, no edge has been leaked, Tim.
No, she'll have to kick at this now, sending the two ball only to the 10. I feel like you would get more results kicking at a higher pace, trying to get the balls near the middle of the table involved. And the cue ball down the drain. This now for 2 each. This match is boiling up to a third set.
Really, absolutely. That was always going to be a possibility with that way of escaping. So rewards for Wei Wei, and a pretty good look at an open table here. Well, that looked like it had run out of steam, but it hasn't. Knock on the 4 could be a little hiccup. She's done this a few times already in this match, Tim. Just putting herself in awkward positions in open play. She can't be doing too much of that, to be fair, Tim.
Yes, indeed. That was a great chance to go 2 each. Now, Jasmin back at the table. Can she turn things around and play herself onto the double hill? She's going at this. Making this, going 2 rails into the 6. Having the 5 into the middle. She's got 5 seconds left. Not easy at all. Second prize. Any second prize? Oh, this is crazy.
Wow. Wei Wei looking to reach halfway up the table to make this jump shot. Oh, calling the bank very likely as insurance. If the cue ball doesn't hold any check side here, I do feel that cue ball could track towards the corner pocket. Jasmin already finding the corner pocket in this rack. Beautiful. That is a textbook escape, and she knew exactly where she wanted that cue ball to land up. That's very much kept her in this rack. And this is a good response, Tim. They are trading blows like heavyweight boxers. Another jump from Wei Wei, reaching far up the table, hoisting herself up onto the edge to get the extra elevation.
No, it's not there. Is she gonna give something on the 4 this time? Yes, she will. Including angle on the 4. Maybe not. Maybe a bit straight. This is such a crucial rack into this match. Could put Jasmin on the double hill. Could put the hopes up for Wei Wei going 2 each.
That's a good spot, Tim. This is at that stage now. Big differences for the whole match.
Oh.
Ooh. It was straight.
Yeah, could she not have drawn into the right long rail and out? She might not even go for this. This is going to get worse for both sides. They're both going to feel awkward. She doesn't know what else to play. The time is running out. It's either this.
Oh, what a 5-ball, but in just focusing on the pot, Tim, look at what she's left on this 6, and I think if she really wanted to go on the offense with a cross bank, that 9 is lurking very large. Would have been nicer if that cue ball would have held behind the 10. It came across the top of it, which does leave an open look at this 6, but the offensive shot here does not look on Tim.
Yeah, classic return. 6 under the 10. Now, 2 rails escape for Jasmin. Could make the 6 off the 10 in the bottom right. No, she's going 1 rail, trying to stick this under the 10. I have to say, she will have to, from a different angle into the 6. Don't want to hit the 10. Wow. Just wow. Absolutely perfect from Ouschan.
Oh, as soon as that cue ball made contact, it said, I'm just going to take a rest right here. Look at that. This is a difficult one for Wei Wei. And as you said, a critical juncture in this second set. Needs to make contact, you feel, here. Otherwise, Jasmin will be itching to get on the hill.
Now, another chance.
I have to say, of all the matches we've had a privilege of being part of so far in this wonderful Pro Billiard Series event, Jasmin Ouschan, whether by her own design or not, has found herself in some really strange and difficult positions and also some surprisingly beneficial ones. But her consistency and her persistence, coupled with her patience, this is how we've come to know her being so successful on the series. Looking good for the hill, Tim.
Yeah, there it is. What a battle so far. But the Austrian on the double hill to get through to the final in her home country.
Yeah, it would be fantastic for the home fans here in the Austrian Alps if Jasmin can just progress through now, take advantage of this position she's in. Just a quick reflection over on our other table. Soa is now on the hill in the deciding set, but Zhang Muyan snapping at her heels. It's 3-2. As you can see them just breaking off their 6th rack. Back to our action. And Tim. Jasmin really looking right now to probably get the best break of the match that she's had so far. Not necessarily been the cleanest of breaks from her in this campaign, but can she keep Wei Wei in her chair and close it out at this opportunity for herself and also for Austria? Well, the answer is no at the moment. She gave it a lot of power, Tim. Balls were travelling. Nothing wanted to drop. And Wei Wei does have a look at this one. I'm just looking around the table. The 3 is maybe a little tricky, but there's no clusters to need to contend with. As we just look at the break stats. Yeah, Jasmin at 14%. Could have been better for her today. Wei Wei sitting quite nice at 60%. But that's not really going to help her at the moment with the scoreline. Ooh, dicing with death. Oof. Look at this, Tim. How did that cue ball put the brakes on?
Well, she might have even hooked herself behind the side pocket point. The knuckle could be in the way. Living on the edge. She's taken that saying a bit too seriously.
Wait till we find out she's a die-hard Bon Jovi fan. Oh no, it was Aerosmith. Oh, good pot. It was always going to be difficult to find this 3. And I don't think she has, Tim. A couple of self-induced tricky positions for Wei Wei in this match. And that's another one of them.
Wow, she went aggressive on that. And she has left a cut on the 3 ball. This is one you should take on. You could go 2 rails in between the 10 and the 4. This kind of area. If you miss the 3, you might get covered behind the 5, 7, 4 as well. This is go time for Jasmin.
Yeah, she's come down to have a look. 3-1 up. Definitely value in attacking this, Tim. And she's called it. Keep your eye on this cue ball. Oh, gets around the 10. But has that cue ball come around too far to take out the cut, Tim?
No, I think the cut is still okay. Yes, would have liked to be straighter, but as you could see, she played with more pace to go around the 10. I think it should be okay. She doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball either. That will help her on this 4 ball. Yeah, this is the right pace. She's gonna get straight on the 5. She's now shooting for a place in the final. Yeah, what else is there to say? Just try to get close to your work.
Yeah, it's looking very elementary here for Jasmin. Campaigns to get to this semi-final. One of them had to lose.
Well, she did put herself a bit straighter on this 9.
It's not often we get you with a... But yeah, quite rightly done. Jasmin Ouschan takes the semi-final in straight sets. It wasn't as straightforward as she was hoping for, but she books her place in tomorrow's final, and with a lovely conversation between the two, probably just reflecting on how that opening set went. We have had a fantastic match here, and we will continue action today. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from now. We will move into the Billiard Beckman Men's Open semi-finals, where we will have a matchup on this table between Felix Vogel and Georgi Georgiev. And on our other table will be the matchup between Oliver Zolnocki and Kun-Lin Wu, as you just see in the background. A lovely round of applause means the results come in, and it is Soa has took the second place in our final, beating Zhang Muyan 2-1. So our final decided, and that will take place tomorrow.